a series of questions, but there were two questions that they were keenly interested. Everyone over the age of 17, man or woman, immigrant or American citizen, had to respond to that, 17 or 87. It asked the two key questions. One key question asked, will you bear arms to defend the United States of America? This being asked of a 17-year-old young man as well as an 87-year-old immigrant lady. It was ridiculous. That immigrant lady was expected to carry arms to defend this country that was imprisoning her. The other question was one sentence with two opposite ideas. It asked, will you swear your loyalty to the United States of America and forswear your loyalty to the Emperor of Japan? To an American citizen, it was outrageous for the government to assume that we have a loyalty to the Emperor just because we look like this. You know, you can't forswear something that doesn't exist. They expected us to be born with a loyalty to the Emperor. So if you answered no, I don't have a loyalty to the Emperor to forswear, you're also saying no to the beginning, the first part of the same sentence. Will you swear your loyalty to the United States? If you answered yes, meaning I will swear my loyalty to the United States, you were then messing up that you had been loyal to the Emperor of Japan and were now willing to set it aside and swear my loyalty to the United States. It was a no-win question. And the amazing thing is, thousands of young Japanese Americans bit the bullet, swallowed their pride, and answered the questions the way the government wanted us to answer, and went and fought with extraordinary courage on those bloody battlefields in Europe. In fact, when I went back to the Roar camp in Arkansas in 2004, I wanted to see where I spent a chunk of my childhood. And it was, I still remember that it was swampy. There were pools of water, creeks around the perimeter of the camp. I call it the jungles, the tall trees and swampy roots that went in and out of the water. It was a swamp. But as we started driving down, they said this is the area. All I saw was miles and miles of cotton fields. They told me that they had drained the swamp and chopped off all the trees and made cotton fields. And there was no evidence of an internment camp having been there, except for the cemetery. And I went to the cemetery, and the most prominent marker there was a tall cement monument, the crumbling one. That was in memory of all the young men who went from that Arkansas internment camp to fight for this country and perished on those European battlefields. And when I started reading those names, knowing that they fought for this country that was imprisoning their own family to establish our American citizenship, I must say I lost. I mean, tears just flowed down my cheek. I know the price that was paid for our citizenship. It was a heavy price, but we paid that price. I know how fragile my citizenship is, but I know how precious it is. And Americans have to know that things like that must never happen again. And so we put this drama together of a family where the young son goes and fights for the country, and his older sister falls in love with another group of young Japanese Americans that I consider equally heroic. They said, I'm an American and I will fight for this country, but I will fight as an American, not as an internee leaving my family in a prison. I will fight for this country if I can report to my hometown Bradford with my family back home. But I will not go from these barbed wire fences, leaving my family in imprisonment, which I consider a very principled, courageous, and heroic American position. And for that, strong principled position, they were tried for gratification and put into a federal penitentiary, Fort Leavenworth. It was a time of cruel, senseless, atrocious government. We need to know how fragile our government can be. And so and the older sister falls in love with the resistor, and the family is split up. And when the younger brother comes back from the war wounded, and comes back in the present time, that younger brother is played by me, and the family is ultimately brought together. It's a dramatic story, and we had our out-of-town tryout at the distinguished regional theater, the Old Globe Theater in San Diego, and we got unanimous great reviews, and by the second week we were sold out, and we continued to be sold out, and so the Old Globe Theater gave us an extension of another week, and when we finally closed, we wound up breaking all